Here's a question you didn't know you needed answered. Why didn't all the animals that lived alongside dinosaurs go extinct? If a giant asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs, why did some animals survive? Turns out survival wasn't just about size, it was about adaptability. Small mammals, birds, and reptiles could hide, find food underground, or survive extreme cold. They needed less food, move faster, and could burrow or swim. Meanwhile, dinosaurs, being large and hungry, didn't stand a chance in a devastated world. Think of it like this. When everything hit the fan, the winners were the ones who could eat anything, live anywhere, and keep a low profile. Basically, nerdy survivalists beat out the jocks of the Jurassic world. Where does the internet come from? The internet isn't floating around in magic clouds. It's very much real and wired. About 99% of international data travels through undersea fiber optic cables that stretch across the ocean floor. Inside cities, internet runs through underground cables and huge data centers packed with servers. Your Wi-Fi? Just a radio signal bouncing between your router and those physical networks. No magic, no invisible beams, just lots and lots of plastic and glass fibers carrying memes, emails, and cat videos around the world at light speed. Basically, the internet is less in the air and more under the sea. Can an air bubble injection kill you? You've seen it in movies. Villain injects a syringe full of air and boom, instant death. But how real is it? Well, yes, injecting air directly into a vein can cause an air embolism, a bubble that blocks blood flow. But it takes a lot more air than you think, around 50 to 100 milliliters injected fast. Tiny air bubbles from a vaccine or IV drip won't hurt you. Your body absorbs small bubbles like nothing happened. So the next time you see a little air pocket in a hospital, don't panic. Hollywood just dramatized everything again, like usual. Despite all our scientific progress, why hasn't NASA gone back to the moon? If we made it to the moon in 1969, why aren't there daily shuttles by now? Short answer, money, politics, and priorities. Going to the moon was wildly expensive and risky. After winning the space race against the Soviet Union, funding dried up fast. NASA shifted focus to satellites, Mars probes, and space stations. Also, people lost interest. Moon landings just stopped being breaking news. Now, with new missions like Artemis, we're finally planning a return. So hang tight. The moon might get its first tourist selfie soon. How did ancient warriors tell friend from foe during battle? Imagine a medieval battlefield. Dust, chaos, screaming, and somehow you're supposed to know who to hit. Ancient warriors used armor designs, shield patterns, colored tunics, and specific banners to recognize each other. Roman legions, for example, had distinct uniforms and eagle standards. Medieval knights often wore personal symbols, like lions or dragons, on their shields and cloaks. The OG gamer tags. Still, in the middle of a brutal clash, mistakes happened. Friendly fire wasn't just a Call of Duty thing. You could absolutely bonk your own teammate with a sword. Battlefields messy, bloody, and very confusing, even with matching jerseys. How did crocodiles survive the disaster that wiped out the dinosaurs? While dinosaurs went extinct in fiery doom, crocodiles just kept chilling. Why? Crocodiles are survival machines. They're cold-blooded, need very little food, and can go months without eating. They also live in water, which protected them from the harsh effects of asteroid impacts and climate change. In short, hide in rivers, eat once in a while, don't move too much, and boom, you're alive 65 million years later. Sometimes slow and lazy wins the survival race. How do isolated lakes and deserts have fish? A random lake in the middle of nowhere, full of fish. Magic? UFOs? Nope. Pure nature. Some lakes were once connected to rivers thousands of years ago. Fish moved in, then got trapped when water levels dropped. Other times, fish eggs traveled by clinging to birds' legs or feathers, getting dropped into new waters later. Nature basically invented Amazon Prime for fish deliveries. No truck needed. Mother Nature, still doing logistics better than half the shipping companies today. How do key-making companies guarantee no two keys are identical? You walk into a hardware store, get a shiny new house key made, but how do they guarantee yours isn't a copy of Karen's key across the street? Turns out, key companies use an almost endless combination of cuts, grooves, and patterns. Most systems are based on codes, specific depths and positions of the cuts, making millions of unique possibilities. Plus, locks have different brands, designs, and restricted keyways to avoid overlaps. It's like a secret handshake, but for doors. Of course, if someone really wants to break in, they won't need a matching key. They'll just use a crowbar. Moral of the story, get good locks, not just cute ones. How do they build bridges over rivers and large bodies of water? Imagine staring across a wide river and being told, yeah, we're going to build a road over that. No boats, no shortcuts, just pure human stubbornness. So how do they pull it off? First, they start at the bottom, literally. They drive huge steel or concrete columns called piles deep into the riverbed, sometimes 100 feet or more. Then, they build massive structures called cofferdams. Think of giant underwater buckets. Water gets pumped out, and suddenly you've got a dry workspace under the river. Once the base is secure, the bridge rises one chunk at a time. Beams, towers, cables, special cranes, floating platforms, and underwater divers all team up. Some bridges even get built sideways on land and floated into place. It takes years, a ton of engineering, and a little bit of insanity. Next time you cross a bridge, just remember, you're driving across someone's crazy dream that somehow worked. How does forensic science solve crimes? Forensic science is basically CSI. It's about using physical evidence to rebuild what happened. Fingerprints, bloodstains, fibers, even pollen. They all tell stories. DNA analysis can pinpoint a suspect with insane accuracy. Ballistics can track a bullet to the exact gun. Even dirt under your shoe can place you at a crime scene. Real forensics isn't as fast as on TV. Tests take weeks, not 30 seconds. But the science is solid. It's like Sherlock Holmes, but now with way cooler lab equipment and fewer Victorian hats. If you got a sudden question that hit you at midnight or while shampooing your hair, drop it in the comments. We might just answer it in the next post.